Hi Tresco, Chris Boston here, doing my weekly video update. Week 3 or 4 of COVID-19 craziness. I just wanted to give you an update on what's going on here at Tresco so that you can have firsthand information as to new procedures, protocols, things that we've put into place to support you during this time. So, first of all, I want to talk a little bit about social distancing. We have implemented extended social distancing procedures to take into account the order from the governor. We have limiting all of our residential settings to staying at home. That has been in effect for 2 weeks now. We have non-essential personnel from the main office not coming in to work and working from home. Only the absolute minimum staff needed to be able to operate the business will be on site providing services. As far as contracts goes, all but 2 of our contracts are continuing, and so we've been deemed essential by the federal and state government because of our role of doing custodial work, and so our contracts are still at work performing services. And by the way, shout out to all of you out in the residential settings in the waiver program, supporting people 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and to our contract folks. You're doing an awesome job. Thank you for that. Keep up the great work. Our children's services team, they are working from home as well. They have been undertaking a new method of communicating with their families via telehealth or video conferencing, and have been doing an outstanding job. A lot of families have taken advantage of that, and that's because all of you in children's services, TOTS and Day One, you are doing a great job of communicating with them and providing them a quality service. So thank you to TOTS and Day One for your great work. You are doing amazing things out there. So thank you again. But we want to also remind you that there is limited access to the building. If you need to come down to Copper Loop and see somebody, either in Human Resources, myself, whoever it might be, the buildings are locked. You are not able to gain access. You'll have to call into the front desk and talk to Mary or whoever is manning that front desk. And we will be doing a screening to make sure that you are safe to come into the building and making sure that we are limiting the exposure to COVID-19. Also, in the residential settings and all of our settings for that matter, we have enhanced our cleaning, and so that we are doing more in the area of infection control. So that's really important. But one thing that I do want to mention is that on Facebook this last week, I think it was on the 5th or so, there was a mass gathering of people who did some ATVing and UTVing out in the desert having some fun. But they gathered under a sign and posted it on Facebook, excuse me, and basically mocking the order of the governor to limit groups to no more than 5. And I want to talk a little bit about that and just remind you all that sort of behavior is not acceptable here. We really cannot accept you participating outside of work or during work, for that matter, in activities that are contrary to the governor's order of groups of less than 5. We should always be practicing social distancing to the fullest extent possible, and that is inconsistent with your employment here at Tresco. Because of the vulnerable people that we work with, we would be putting our participants, our families, our coworkers at risk. And so I just implore you to please heed the advice of our health officials that this is a national emergency. This is not a hoax. This is not something that needs to be taken lightly. So please plan and act accordingly. Along with that, I want to make it clear that right now we do not have any families, participants, or workers that have a positive COVID-19 test result. We have had several people test for the COVID-19 and came back negative. We do have one person who has been, pardon me, there are two people who are pending their test results right now. And so if we do have a positive, we will be reaching out to going back to who that person has been around to determine if there was a high risk of exposure. And so please understand that we can't disclose people's names. Their identities are protected under HIPAA, but we will be reaching out and providing, if and when that happens, reaching out to all employees and people concerned to make sure that they are safe and at low risk of contracting or spreading the disease. Next, if you need special arrangements for your work schedule, you need some flexibility, please talk to your supervisors, and we will do our very best to work with you. Understand that our services and contracts and work with families continues. We are taking every precaution. Speaking of precautions, we have ordered 750 homemade masks for people to be protected. Also, we've ordered manufactured masks. Unfortunately, they aren't the N95 or whatever that specific category is called, mask, but it is something that is available to us. This is an example of the homemade mask. One of our coworkers here, Lillian Ruiz. Lillian, thank you. I want to give you a shout out for your outstanding work. This is Lillian's product that she makes, and I will do a little demonstration. It's very simple, but this is compliant with the CDC's recommendation for face masks, and we have ample numbers of these. Our goal is to be able to issue by the end of next week 3 of these type of masks to all of you, to be able to have 2 to be able to wash, and then 1 that will be clean for you to be able to utilize at work or in your personal life. So that is our goal is by next Friday we have those deployed. Please let your supervisor know if you need additional face protection, and we will get those out to you. Also, starting on Monday, we'll have about 10 to 12 gallons of hand sanitizer. It's homemade hand sanitizer that we will be getting out to locations. I'm still waiting on some dispensing bottles of larger quantities to send to residential sites, but as soon as those come in, they should be here any day now. We will get those out to you, and then personal size for our folks who work around the community, so that you have hand sanitizer, because all of you know there's no more hand sanitizer, and it's not expected to be back on the market until late May, early June at the earliest. So we've got your back on that, and we'll get that product out to you as fast as possible. And so lastly, I just want to share with you again how lucky we are here in New Mexico. I just read an article today from a colleague in New York, and then this is specific to our waiver participants. They are seeing a 3-time rate of death in New York of people with intellectual and developmental disabilities to the general population. And that's because of many of the folks that are supported have compromised health conditions. And it's a very, very sad situation. But we have not been seeing that in New Mexico, and that is directly related to us taking the proactive steps of social isolation, washing our hands, using hand sanitizer, but most importantly, social distancing. Can't emphasize that enough. And so while we pray and we hope for a quick end to the COVID-19 of our colleagues out on the coasts, where it's been particularly difficult for them, we continue to hope and pray that that does not occur here in New Mexico, and particularly here within our Tresco family. So with that, everyone, I want to wish you a very happy Easter. I hope you are able to enjoy your Easter season, however you celebrate that. And to our employees who are Jewish or of other faith traditions, we hope that you have a very healthy and safe holiday weekend as well. And you'll be hearing from me next Friday. If you do need anything, don't hesitate to reach out to us. We are here to support our team members and continue to do the good work that you guys are doing. So with that, take care, be safe, stay strong, and we will talk to you next week. Bye-bye.